I'm down here in Leslie Gulch to provide an update on the Owyhee Canyonlands in Oregon.
I'm your Idaho Backroads neighborhood reporter, Steve Dent, and there's been a push to protect this rugged landscape, including a call to the Biden administration to deem it a national monument.
It's special. The history of this landscape is rich. The cultural aspects of this landscape is rich. It's one of the most remote spots in the lower 48, some of the darkest night skies.
Tim Davis grew up in Nissa and spent his childhood exploring the Owyhee Canyonlands. Tim founded the Friends of the Owyhee because this area doesn't have any protection against industrial development.
Why we've been pushing it is to prevent large-scale mining activities, which would, hinder access, would also hinder even grazing access as well.
In 2019, Oregon Senator Ron Wyden started working with conservation groups, outfitters, the tribes, recreationalists, and ranchers to protect more than 1 million acres as wilderness in a bill he introduced last year.
That bill's been introduced 3 different times, 3 different congressional sessions. Right now, they're working on putting together a lands package back in D.C. with the Owyhee bill being a key part of it.
Earlier this spring, I met up with Tim Davis and other members of a larger group called Protect the Owyhee Canyonlands. They petitioned the Biden administration to make this area a national monument while Congress goes through the legislative process.
We're still pushing on Senator Wyden that, for some case that he can't get this legislation through, that national monument could be a good path to get this conversation to a good point and accomplish a majority of what is in his bill.
I also learned this spring that grazing for cattle ranchers would be grandfathered in, while access for hikers, campers, and overlanders would continue. The goal of protecting this place is to keep everything the same.
It's a special landscape that is remote and you find a lot of solitude in, and let's try to keep it that way.
Oregon Representative Cliff Bentz also introduced his own bill into the House to protect the Owyhee Canyonlands. That had a hearing earlier in November, but it has also come under criticism by conservationists who call it a political stunt.
I'm your Idaho Backroads neighborhood reporter, Steve Dent, for Idaho News 6.